Hi, my name's Dawn. I'm the Reclusive Crafter, and today is Quickfire Friday. And what we've got for you today is a piece of cardstock, a couple of book pages that came out of here, which is the Practical Electrical Reference book. It's a really old one. It's falling to pieces, and I really don't mind using it, to be honest with you. So that's what we're working with. And what I thought I'd show you today is just some very quick side edges. And they actually really look quite effective. So without further ado, I'm going to make a start straight away because we don't have a lot of time on a Friday. So what this will actually do is it will give you edges to your page, and you can swap and change them as you choose to do so, but it gives you a rather nice layered effect, which I shall show you. I'm just looking at this to see which way round I want it. Actually, it doesn't really make a lot of odds, to be fair. So what you would do first of all, you've got your cardstock and you've got your page, and just lay them. These quite nicely are roughly the same size, and just lay them so that they're edge to edge. And then all we're going to do is we're going to come down here and just tear this piece off, just the edging off. You can make it as hicklety-picklety as you want to, or you can keep it straight if that's your preference. I quite like the hicklety-picklety look, so that's what we're going with. And you just carry on, tear them down all the way down. And you can, like I say, make this as tidy or as untidy as you want to. Doesn't really make an odds. And then what you end up there is two edges that are mirror images of each other. So you'll end up with that effect. Or, depending on how you lay these out, you'll end up with that effect. So you can choose either which way you want to go on this. So that's that side. And then the other side, I'm going to cut this down because we don't need as much as this. So if that one's going there, like that, we then want to measure up to kind of see where this edge is going to be. So this edge would probably be about there. So I'm going to just take it in slightly. So I'm just trying to think how I need this. Yeah, so we need to move this along slightly. Sorry, I just had to think about which way I was going on this one. So I want to move this along slightly, and I've moved it along by roughly a centimetre. You can give them whatever edges you want to. It's entirely up to you how you do it. And then again, we're just going to rip this down. Like I say, it doesn't need to be in any set order. It doesn't need to be a certain design or anything else. Just anyhow you like. Just rip it on down. There we go. That's quite a nice hicklety-picklety look there. And then what you actually end up with by doing that is you end up with two pieces of paper, one being the book page and the other being the cardstock. Okay, now I do feel actually that that's just torn slightly unevenly down there, so I'm just going to take that little bit off there because that's a bit too wide of a tear there, just where the paper is separated a little bit. So I'm just going to take that in, but just in line obviously with the actual tear of the paper. This is just the underside of the paper here, which hasn't torn particularly well. Okay, so that's what you end up with there. I'm going to ink the edges. So just while I quickly ink the edges, how are we all doing today? Looking forward to your weekend? I know when I was working, I used to really love the weekends. Fridays were such a blessing to me. Just to get to the end of the week was a joy to behold. So if you're that way in feeling, then I feel for you, and I wish you all the best for the weekend. I hope you have a lovely weekend. The weather's looking like it's going to be very nice. That's in the UK, of course. I don't know what it's going to be like elsewhere. I've no doubt in the warmer climes it will be lovely. Right then, so we've got our little inked edges there, just to add a little bit of definition. You could, if you wanted to, ink the paper underneath. I've just chosen just a plain paper, but that could actually be a pattern design. If you're working on a specific journal, you could have that as a pattern design if you wanted to. And now all I'm going to do is stick those two together. So I've got my art glitter glue. I'm going to splash a bit of ink. I'm not going to splash ink at all. I'm going to splash glue. Or I would do if my glue worked. Joy of joys. Let me unblock my glue. Gloopy doopy doo. Okay. That's better. There we go. A little bit of glue. I'm going to pop that all the way round. Got my new mat. It's not all shiny. It's not blinding you now with the reflections of the lights. I do have 2 lights on my desk because I like to be able to see what I'm up to. It wasn't so bad, or rather it's not so bad in the summer, but in the winter months when it's really dark, it's awful, isn't it, when you're trying to see what you're doing. I do like some good lighting. Nothing like a bit of good lighting to be able to see what you're doing. Right then, and then this is going to stick down on here, and it is pretty much in line. You've pretty much, if you can see here, got a mirror image going on, almost. That's a little bit out, but you've almost got a mirror image here of your tear along the way, so it marries up quite nicely. So we're just going to stick that down like so. And then all I'm going to do now is take the longest edge over and just fold that in half. Okay. I'm going to very gently just give that a little bit of a burnish, like so. And what we've done is we've folded that, because there's 2 columns on this page. I've just folded that down, that center column there, so that you've got 1 column on each, and then you can embellish this section if you wanted to, or you can leave it as is. And then what you do, I've already got one done here, you literally just pop it over the edge of the page like so. You glue along here and glue along here, and that gives you a lovely little side tuck there, which is lovely. And like I say, you can embellish that however you want to. The background paper can be whatever you want it to be. It can be any color, any design. And then the other way of doing this, I'll show you another way of doing it as well. So that's one way. And then the second way, similar again, I'm just going to trim off that edge because I don't need that. We don't need that tatty old edge, so I'm going to get rid of that tatty old edge and make a different tatty old edge instead. There we go. Okay, so we've got that. And then, not too bothered about that a little bit there because that's probably going to get ripped off anyway. With our second piece, instead of the green being underneath, I'm going to have the green being on top, which will give you a different view again. Okay, so this time I'm just going to pop a couple of paper clips. I was going to call them safety pins, not safety pins at all. Just going to pop a couple of paper clips on there just to hold that in place. And now I'm going to turn it round so I can see what I'm ripping, because I want to take off most of that white there if I can. And I'm just going to rip this one down. like so. So that one's ripped down there. I'm just going to take that little bit off in there where it's the cardstock has stayed in place or separated out. So that's that one, and that's that side done. And then this side, again, I just need to think about, which way around did I do the first one? Did that on top. So that one needs to come across this way this time. So you need to give more side to the green. I'm just going to pin those in place. Okay, so on the first one, we only had this over about 1 centimetre. With this one, we need it over about 2 centimetres because the green, is that right? Have I got that right? Yeah, the green is actually going to be on top. So I'm going to, again, rip these down. Hopefully I've done this right this time. Yeah, I have. Sorry, I had a horrible feeling that I'd done that wrong, but I haven't. I don't think I have anyway. We'll soon find out. I don't think it's wrong. And again, just, there's no nicety about this. It's just ripping. Like I say, you can, if you wanted to, use one of the decal rulers. Is that how you pronounce it? Decal rulers. Or you could use pinking shears if you want to. That would make a nice little edge as well. And now what we've got is we've got the green piece smaller than the book page. So I am going to now ink that off, inking the wrong side. Which side do I want? Yeah, let's go with that side. A little bit more interest going on that side, isn't there? So again, I am only inking this just for a little bit of definition. 'Tis all. Nothing too much going on here. There we go. Have you got anything nice planned for the weekend? I don't think I have. I'm not really sure actually what I'm doing. Mind you, that's the story of my life. I'm never really sure about what I'm doing these days. I just get up in the morning and it just happens. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I am going to glue this to this, like so. And I did actually ink the wrong side of that, so I'm just going to throw a little bit of ink quickly down this side too. Just not a lot, just enough to give it a little bit of something. There we go. Okay, and now that piece goes that side. That's it. Yep. So now we glue this little piece on. Like so. Give it a good old little scribble of glue. Again, as with all things with crafting, when we're showing you how to do it, we need to do it relatively quickly so that you're not sitting around bored. But when you're, oops-a-daisy, when you're doing it yourself, you can take as much time and effort over this as you want to. It really is entirely up to you. And I'm just going to place those so that you can just see the page either side. Like so. And this time you don't need to worry about creasing it down the middle. Just make sure that your edges are kind of semi together. Doesn't need to be exact, because at the end of the day you're not going to see both sides at once. Give that a little bit of a burnish, and then what you end up there is, let me show you the other one I've done. What you end up with that then is something that looks like that. Okay, so you can decide whichever way you want to do it. It's entirely up to you. So that would be one way. And then that would be the other way. And then you can embellish these pages however you choose to do so. So it's just a very quick, fun way of decorating your pages, something a little bit different. You've got the lovely layered effect there. You could even, if you wanted to, take that out a third stage as well and have 3 pieces of paper doing this. And you, like I say, you can have the blank colour on top and the book page underneath, or you can have the book page on top and the blank colour underneath. And as I say, it doesn't necessarily need to be a blank colour. If you're working on a journal and you've got a specific page, you could use one of your journal pages to do that with. Whatever you wanted to, you know, the world's your oyster with it. Do whatever makes you happy with it. But I just think that's a really fun, very quick journal embellishment. Pop it in your book of ideas and you can then decorate these however you want to. That's it for today, guys. That is Quick Fire Friday. I hope you like it. I think it's a lovely little addition to a journal, and I will look forward to seeing you all for Scrap Busting Saturday tomorrow. So take care, everybody. Enjoy your Friday evening, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.